What is up, everybody? We are already on episode number 9. Number 9. This is so awesome. And today we have a real special guest. You know what? I'm not even going to tell you. I'm going to let him tell you for you. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, let's go.
What you're doing, and let's get exposure. Let's work together.
Absolutely.
Our strength, it lies in our differences, not our similarities. There's another gold one for you right there.
Absolutely. I mean, you heard it, people, before we even started.
Right here, I coined that. That's mine. I own that.
Well, everybody, we are back for another episode of Preacher's Corner. Scorpio, what's up?
Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to another one.
Again, I am not going to say the episode number because I have lost track of how many episodes we've been doing. So we are just like I said, just like Dr. Dre, on to the next episode. So we are on to the next episode. And like DJ Khaled said, here's another one.
Hey.
See, look at that. So today I am
every day.
Recovery. I am like so stoked about this guest, everybody. So one day I'll give a little backstory. One day I was scrolling Instagram, and I since I have been in recovery, I am now a part of like a lot of recovery groups on Facebook and on Instagram. And so I was scrolling one day and I see this video pop up, and it's of someone who had passed away from fentanyl, and it was just it was a memory of them, a memorial of them. And I was like, man, it hit me. And so I reached out, and I didn't think I was going to get any answer. I was just like, okay, here we go, let me throw the ball, and if it gets caught and thrown back, awesome. But I wasn't expecting anything to come from it. And I got a response, and I asked if he wanted to be on the show, told him that we do this podcast, and he said he would get on. And so I was ecstatic, because it's like people have like celebrities they look up to, but these celebrities don't do jack nothing, as we've been seeing with this whole Puff Daddy thing. Celebrities are nothing. And so this guy, I look up to him, and he inspires and motivates me to keep going. He's been sending me some videos every now and then that I've been watching, and just whenever I'm scrolling and I see something of his, it just helps remind me why we're doing what we're doing. And so it is my honor to introduce to you the owner, the runner of the Instagram every.11.minutes.
Go check that out, y'all. Follow that.
Go check it out. Jeremy, how do you say it? Kelsey,
yeah.
Kelsey. We don't want no Travis Kelce's in here. We want Jeremy Kelsey.
You see the jersey, bro?
Oh, 49ers.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, it was a good show, everybody.
It was a good show.
We'll take the conversation offline. We'll blur this out.
Thank you and good night.
We'll put a Steelers jersey on that sucker right there.
We're a team full of injured people right now. Come see us in a couple weeks.
So, Jeremy, welcome to the show. We're going to start off. We ask everybody who comes onto the show just a little lighthearted. As you see, we've already been lighthearted, but we want to know a little bit.
What is that?
We
I don't
like to
joke
have
around.
Never. We like to open this up and break the ice and let everybody get to know the guest. And so, what are 3 interesting facts about Jeremy Kelsey?
Oh my God. Let me see here. 3 interesting facts.
The interesting facts.
I once did a sold out show in Europe and stage dived, and they passed me around and dropped me on my head, y'all.
Oh shit.
And I got back up and I got on the stage and I finished my set.
That's badass right there.
I was just
Okay.
seeing that there's a hurricane coming to Florida, so I was just thinking. So another fun fact: I survived a hurricane, y'all.
Get out of here.
Shit.
Stop the
Get out of
applause.
here.
I'm okay.
Wow.
So not only did you survive a wave,
Yes.
we
was in
survived
Panama,
a
dude.
hurricane.
It was in
Really?
Panama. Yes, dude.
So you,
Wow.
man, this dude.
I've been through
So
some
you
stuff.
had a sold out show in Europe,
Yes.
and then you survived a hurricane in Panama. Did
So
you do
what you guys
anything?
don't-
Did you do anything in the United States?
No, what's the United States? Dean, I'm not really laughing. Not really laughing, guys. No, so I was in Panama, and I don't know if you guys know, but the cocaine out there is like 100% pure. So a hurricane,
We heard
Definitely.
stories.
you can't feel anything, bro. You can't
Wow.
feel 100 mile per hour wind.
Is that how you? Is that how you
Whipping.
survived?
It was either the A1 Yola, or it was the guava margarita, or it was the fried octopus I was eating. Can you imagine me, dude? Coked out, loked out in Panama on a fucking hurricane, dude. Eating fried octopus with a guava margarita, coked out of my mind. In a hurricane.
Wow.
Just
That's
living
a
in that
combo.
fast
I think
life,
the
bro.
most interesting part about that is you ate fried octopus.
Yeah.
That's a combo.
He's like, I survived a hurricane, but you were eating octopus.
Well, I mean, we eat fried calamari. Y'all ever had those little mini octopuses? You dip them in the cocktail sauce. Where do y'all
No.
live?
No, I mean, I know people who have, but not me.
Where are you guys based
I
out
don't-
of?
Upstate New York.
Oh,
Good
hell, I'm
old-
trying to come out and see you guys. I've
Right.
never been to New York.
Right? What? We're probably like an hour and a half away from Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
The
So
Mecca.
think
Over by
how it is.
Buffalo. I'm right
So
in the middle
think-
of Rochester.
Think how it is. Think how it is. A Steelers fan living in Bills country.
Damn.
It's
You're out the
terrible.
Yeah, it's dangerous
And
for him to walk
what's crazy?
outside.
And what's crazy is after Monday, they're all walking around. Oh, 3-0, we won. I said, guys, you beat the Jaguars. I said, like this morning. So I live at a house with 13 veterans, and one guy, he was doing his dishes, and I said something about Pittsburgh. He's like, how about them Bills? I said, well, calm down. I said, you beat the Jaguars. I said, congratulations. I said, you beat the elementary school team of the NFL.
Listen. He says that now, but when he's outside, it's a whisper. It's a whisper. Them niggas deep outside. Wait a minute. Bill's Mafia out here deep out
Yo,
this motherfucker.
So my dad and I, before we jump in, funny story. My dad and I, before COVID, we used to go to one Steelers game every year because we're probably like 5 hours away from Pittsburgh. And my dad's originally from Pittsburgh. So we would go to one game a year, stay at my grandma's house on Saturday, and then drive in on Sunday. One year, the Patriots, I think it was one of Tom Brady's last years in New England, my dad and I wanted to see Tom Brady play. And so we tried to get tickets, but tickets for that game were like $500 a piece in the nosebleed because Tom Brady was there.
Damn.
And so we're like, okay, we're not gonna go to this game. That'd be $1,000 for 2 tickets. Like, and that's the cheapest tickets. And so we're like, okay, let's find another game. All the games were like sold out by that point. And so my dad's like, well, I mean, we could always go to a Bills game because Pittsburgh was supposed to be coming here. And so this is when Buffalo was like, and when Josh Allen first got there. So we were like, okay, let's do it.
$50 a ticket, dude.
They were like, I remember one time for my sister-in-law, my wife and I bought her and her uncle a Bills Miami ticket. I think we paid like $20 for each one.
Yeah, it was
Bruh.
cheap. It was definitely cheap.
They pay you to come in. They pay you to
They do though. Like when there's snowstorms, they put word out. Like if anybody living in Rochester area, like within 2 hours, if you want to come up, we'll pay you to snow. We'll pay you to shovel, and then you can go to the game. We'll give you food, things like that.
Yep.
So
they'll give you a bunch of stuff just to shovel and stuff.
So we go to this game. My dad and I, we leave probably at like the game's 1:00. So we left probably around like 11 o'clock to get to the game. So we get there, we do a couple of the outside stuff. We go into the stadium, and it's snowing, like snowing, so much snow that at halftime they were still clearing half the field. And so we're sitting there in the stadium and in the seats, and like people think Steeler fans travel, but we don't travel. There's just so many Steeler fans all across the country. And so a lot of away games feels like a home game because of how many fans there are. And so at this time, Buffalo's not doing so good. So there's not as many Buffalo fans as there are Pittsburgh. And so half the bleachers, the stands, are Steeler fans where we're sitting. So I see this Buffalo fan walking up the steps. He has his beer and his like hot dog in his hand. And I said, "Yo, welcome to Pittsburgh." The look he gave me, my dad looked at me, he said, "Don't ever do that again." He said, "If you get into a fight because of this, I am not helping you." He's like, and this was my first away game. He said, we are not in Pittsburgh. He said, you can't do that.
Bro, at football
and especially Buffalo, fans here are scary. Like bro, my dad said he remembers when the Bills won the playoffs. Their first playoff game, they ripped the goalpost out of the ground and like carried it up the stand. Like, fuck that. I don't want to get in a fight with that. People here jump through freaking flaming tables. I mean,
yeah, dude.
We got a lot of people. We got a lot of people, crazy people in upstate New York.
Pretty intense. Pretty intense up here.
But anyways,
then you wonder why. Then you wonder why the drug habit's fucking intense up here. That'd be why.
I'm telling you, it's crazy.
That'd be why.
So rap wise, who's the king in New York?
What's that?
Rap wise, who's the king in New York?
Well, it was Jay-Z.
So crazy right now.
It was Jay-Z. We'll see how long that works.
he's staying real quiet about this P. Diddy thing.
Of course he is, because he's on the list.
No choice.
he's like, you know what?
Diddy to look like Epstein, bro. It's kind of crazy.
Yo,
basically,
Jay-Z right now is keeping quiet because he's like, I want to pretend I don't exist, because if I don't exist, if they look on the list and they see my name, maybe they'll forget about me.
And that's exactly what it is. Because if I say anything about this, they're gonna immediately be like, "So where the fuck were you during this time?" You
Absolutely.
know, so why even get involved? Why even get involved?
What we have to remember.
Before midnight.
What we have to remember. That's what Marlon. Did you see Marlon Wayne's interview with Shannon Sharp?
No.
So Marlon Wayne, because Shannon Sharp has a podcast.
Oh, exactly what you said, Jeremy.
Marlon Wayne was like, so Shannon Sharp was like, well, have you been at any of Diddy's parties? Like, well, yeah, I've been to a couple of parties. Like, so did you see anything like this happen? He's like, well, no, see, I left before they happened. They probably were like, oh, that Wayne's brother is gone. Let's start it now at 3:02. And I'm like, bro, nice cleanup, because they're gonna find your name on the list, and now you were like, well, I was there, but I didn't experience it, so that's why my name's on the list. But I don't know what happened.
Yeah, because they were waiting for the Wayne's brother to leave exactly at 3:00 to be like, yeah, let's bring the orgy out right now. Like, yeah, that was it. Because you didn't care about watching that. No, not the Waynes.
But it's
almost lightweight, bro. Like P. Diddy is like a super villain.
Absolutely.
Like the super
it's
villain
crazy.
of the rap world, dude. Like,
it's crazy.
Did you see him? His depiction of the Joker. He dressed up like a Joker. It
Get
was
out
so
of here.
spot on. Look that
Wow.
up. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
They
Maybe,
did
maybe
that on
I'll pop.
purpose.
Maybe I'll pop a picture up in the edit.
During that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just like even transitioning into what we're going to talk about. It's crazy because just the things, because guaranteed there's drugs and stuff at these parties. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And so the things that it makes people do,
Evil.
it's evil things. Like I just know, so Scorpio, he used to live on the street with me. It was me, him, his wife, and her sister. And some of the things, like I put a hit out on a girl, all because she took $40. Like,
Well,
so
that's
the
money.
things that we are willing to do, things that we like. When I grew up, I never said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna boost some stores and I'm gonna put a hit out on a girl and I'm gonna treat people like shit." I never thought that when I was a kid, and it was so contrary to my character. Like why am I doing this? And so before we dive into, wait, did you give a third interesting fact?
Oh, last summer I saved a kid drowning.
Wow.
Man, this guy.
Okay,
I was clean and
Aquaman.
sober, y'all. It's because I was clean and sober. That probably wouldn't have happened if I wasn't clean and sober.
Look at that. See, that's
There you
crazy.
go. There you
That's
go.
crazy. He said, "Look at Aquaman."
Check it out. Me and my girl were at the Russian River up here. And usually if I'm at the river, and it's even a trigger sometimes when I'm at the river to, or we call them activators. I was activated, barbecuing at the river, canoeing, stuff like this. I'm like, I need a beer. I need a tall can. You know what I mean? But that's not even a thought anymore. I'm 3.5 years clean and sober.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's like I'm reliving it's a whole new life. I can't even explain it. A complete one.
Absolutely.
I would have been turning up at the river if it wasn't for that. So me and my girl, we're chilling, and it's a really high rapid, and there's a tree sticking out, and we're noticing all these drunk tubers, like college kids or whatever. They're getting wound up in the tree, and some of them are getting sucked down. I'm like, I had to roll out there, swim out there, and untangle them and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, just missed it. I tried to direct a few people around it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I see this lady on a deflatable paddleboard with her little son. The dude couldn't have been more than 8-9 years old. And I'm trying to tell her, hey, go around because people are getting wound up right here. And she's like, yeah, for sure. She didn't hear me or something like that. And boom, they went right into the tree and the kid disappeared. I didn't even think twice about it. Went out there and I'm looking for him. I can't find him. His mom's wound up on the trees. The board's like halfway in. And I can feel him. I grab him and I pull him up. He's breathing. He's like, oh, I don't want to die. He's in panic and stuff like that. And I'm like, I can't pull him up. And he's like, barely got his, face out of the water. And I'm holding the tree with one arm. And I got him. And I got to tell you, if I didn't work out every day, I would have got winded because the rapid and trying to hold him up. And he's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. And he's panicking. I'm like, I got you, bro. And he keeps slipping. I'm like, what's going on? And so he's like, there's a thing on my ankle. And I went down and there was what is it called? A leash on his ankle from the paddleboard.
Wow.
Pulling him under, dude. And so I unvelcroed it and like the tension's like, zzz, and I pulled him up. And
that's crazy.
Damn.
That is crazy.
Craziest part is I put him to I take him to the shore and everyone's like, yeah, applauding. I'm just like, thank you very much. I'm here all day. And the mom's like, come and get me. I can't swim. I'm like, what are you doing out here with your kid, lady?
Oh my God.
Are you serious? I can't swim. I'm like, this bitch.
What?
So I swam out there and got her. I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be on a paddleboard with your kid, dude.
What are you doing?
Oh, get out of here.
Like, what the fuck are you doing out here then? Basically,
What are you doing out here not taking warnings, dude?
Oh, with your kid.
Dude, I got it. It's fine. I'll just think my way out of this. What are you doing,
Yo.
anyways?
Oh
That's-
my god. What?
That's like
You gotta
someone.
risk it.
That's someone like that's like someone who's blind trying to drive. Like
Yeah. Or she just had hella faith in God or something.
God, take the wheel.
Blind faith. I want to do all the things I wanted to do.
but that's the thing. Like God doesn't protect stupid. Like she would get to heaven and she'd be like, God, why didn't you protect me? Like, lady, you can't swim.
You don't have to force your stupid ass to get in the water. What the fuck?
It's called wisdom. If you don't know how to swim,
bitch.
if you don't know how to swim, don't go in the water.
Oh my god.
When she got up there, God told her like Snoop Dogg, if you can't swim, you bound to Drizam.
Yo,
he'll be here all night. He'll be here all night.
Here all night,
Here all
man.
night.
Here all night, guys.
Oh,
Oh
man.
my god.
But
I saved a kid, dude.
but speaking of sobriety,
Speaking of sobriety tonight.
so we talked about a little bit of what you do. So before we jump into that, what inspired that? What came from? What happened so that you started that? And so you were in addiction. What were you addicted to? That's the first question. And then how long were you in addiction for?
So my drug of choice is trail mix, everything, right?
Okay.
It started with alcohol and it lightweight ended with alcohol, but at my pinnacle, I was a fentanyl addict. So
Okay.
that's why
That explains a lot. So prior to addiction, what was life like for you? What was life like for Jeremy prior to you getting addicted?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I had a pretty unsafe childhood without, throwing my parents under the bus because they provided the best life they could for me, right?
Yeah.
So I saw a lot, I experienced a lot, at a pretty young age. I didn't have it that bad, but it's not until I'm a drug counselor too. I've been a drug counselor for almost 3 years.
Awesome.
And so I work. I have a 40-hour week. You know what I mean? And through working with these clients, I'm coming to my own revelations, and through therapy, 12-step, and all that. But I'm coming through with my own revelations. My own life. Oh, that's a life stressor. Oh, my brother dying. That's grief. That might have been what spun me out. Every biopsychosocial, which is biological, psychological, and social factor, it kind of fits into where I would have a substance use disorder. Now that I know the science of it, I'm going to school for it and stuff like that. So, genetic predisposition to being an undiagnosed, not good medical, Medicare when I was younger and stuff like that. ADHD, depression, trauma, anxiety.
Yeah.
And then so when I was 9 or 10 years old and I took that first drink and I felt that warm feeling, I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. And even the first time I felt the feeling of morphine, my mind made an agreement right then that I would do this till I died.
Wow.
I was 15 and my life was spinning out of control. For a 15-year-old, I would have definitely been one of these faces on my page. You know what I mean? But back then, in my day, you could experiment, right?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have to pay with your life.
Yeah.
Now it's like Russian roulette. But
absolutely.
At 15, I was in the back of a truck and it flipped over into a ravine going like 70 miles per hour. And the truck was on top of me. And dude that was in the back of me, he's not good now, but he's still alive, but he's not good, and either were the other passengers, but somehow I survived it. God was looking out, I guess, because it was all tree stumps and boulders in this creek that we landed in this ravine, but I landed in this patch of sand. It's crazy. And so I'm in the hospital bed, and they're pulling the warm blankets over, and my homegirl's cleaning the wounds out of my hand, and then all of a sudden I started feeling this warm tingle, right, come over me, and it felt like I was being held by God, and I felt so safe, bro. And I didn't know, unbeknownst to me, they were giving me morphine drip for my first time.
Wow.
And so I didn't go out, and I didn't even know what it was really. You know, I smoked and drank 40s and stuff like that, but I wasn't a little crank every now and then, a little line of coke, but I was 15. I didn't really know about opiates. And so it was like check mark in my mind, like whatever that was, we're chasing that. And
we got to find out.
When I found out what it was, and it was a very extensive process of getting Norcos, which are Vicodin, and then coming off of those and going to methadone, trying to get off, and then going to Suboxone, and then finally like, bro, I'm tired of the pill chasing thing. Where's the heroin? And I finally copped some heroin, and I'm like, this is where it's at right here. Smoking all day, and I would go to the methadone clinic to try to stay, well. And they'd be like, you haven't started shooting yet, have you? And I'm just like, no. They always ask me, and I'm just like, no. They're like, thank God. I'm like, what am I missing out on, bro?
Yeah.
And I graduated to shooting dope.
Wow.
So,
and that's I never got into. I was just into crack, and I remember though, like Scorpio, his wife, her sister, were always doing the mix, and I always saw them smoking it. And I never saw someone shooting up the boy, but one day I was hanging out with this girl, and she shot it up, and I just like I have a thing with needles. Like, I was in the Army, and I was definitely afraid whenever we had to like go draw blood and things like that, because me and needles, like, I can get tattoos, but like needles, I'm like definitely afraid of. And when I saw this girl like shooting up, I was like, how is she doing this? And then there was this other girl who I saw shooting up, and she would tie her arm off, but she kept missing the vein, and she kept pulling it out and putting it back in, and pulling it out and putting it back in. And I'm sitting there watching her, and I'm just like my stomach, like you know, if you like, let's say you're watching like a surgery or you're watching blood, and you get like that like queasy feeling in your stomach and lightheaded. Like, that's how I was getting it, and watching it and getting lightheaded, because I just, each time she kept pulling out and put it back and pulling out, I'm like, how, like, and then she's like moving it around in her arm, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
But that just shows again what we said, like, it makes you do crazy things.
It makes you compromise your own morals.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I used to tell them all the time, like they'd want to go take packages off porches, and they'd want to pick up cigarette butts like outside the gas station, and I'd be like, guys, like, stop. We had this little thing called dignity, and so I was always like holding on to my dignity. And like I told, I think it was a couple episodes ago, I said that's when my mind clicked and said, I need to get out of this. The moment that I laid down my dignity, because then I'm like, what else do I have? Like, I just sacrificed my dignity. I've started to sacrifice my morals. Like, and it's sad that so many people get into this. And sometimes it's like, imagine if it was you, and you hadn't been addicted to weed, hadn't been addicted to alcohol, and that first experience you had was when you had that accident happen, and you felt that morphine for the first time. Like, it's that easy.
Yeah,
it's sad.
Yep.
really is. So Satan is a merciless enemy, and
Absolutely.
once he has you disconnected from God, because that's what he's trying to do, right? Divide and conquer. He's got you in that spider web. He's gonna wrap you up. He's gonna torture you and all that, dude. And you're gonna compromise your morals one after the next, while he sits back laughing because he's got
Absolutely.
you. He's got this whole generation right now.
Absolutely.
And so
Sadly.
that's why if you go on this page, there's a lot of darkness, right? But stars can't shine without darkness.
Absolutely. They shine brighter in darkness.
Absolutely, right? So I know the darkness very well. I know what appeases these people because I was in the darkness for so damn long. So I know how to give them that darkness and bring a little sliver of light every other post. And now if you notice, the page is taken off on recovery tip. That's been my end game all along, right? And that's what I used to do with my music. I would have this dark music, right? I got 2 albums out. To me, they're a masterpiece, and it's all darkness and horrific songs about crazy shit, arson and jacking and murder and all this stuff, suicide. And then at the end, there's a song about God. And I remember fighting with my producers over the song. I said, well, they're like, this song can't come out. I'm like, the album ain't coming out then. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, I feel like that's what makes you such a great, like, I mean, that not just for your music, but that's what makes you such, that's what makes you a great, like, drug counselor, and that's what makes you great at everything you do. That's another reason why we started our podcast, and why, Preacher decided to go down his route with Flocka, and why I decided to go down my route being a drug counselor, and then why I decided to do the podcast with him. It was because, it's, when you're in the addiction and you start your recovery, you start to understand that you are the only ones that really relate to somebody that was in that darkness and that was in that type of a world. And you're the only one that, you're the only one that can really relate to somebody like that.
100%.
Yeah, other people on the outside can try, and kudos to them that can try, but you're never. There's just certain parts you're just not gonna get, just not. And that's when you have to be in addiction, or at least been in recovery, to understand. Like, yeah, I get that. Yeah. I understand. There's certain things that Jeremy will tell us, and we'll be like, shit, yeah, we did that. Yeah, we did that before. Yeah, I remember doing shit like that. Like, you go and tell another person that, and they be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Straight up. And you got to be fragile with people too. And that's what I've learned, because I'm like a bull in a china shop, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even sometimes I'll put myself in the center of the room, and I'll be like, make me a better counselor. And they'll just pull me up, and I got to hold my seat. And they're like, Jeremy, sometimes you talk about and you glorify drugs too much. I'm like, damn. Damn.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And I'll be like, let me really brush that up. I got to do some work there. You know what I mean?
See, I think about that too, because I think it's easy. It's easy to, because, and it's not that I think it's not that we're glorifying the drugs, but we've been through a lot because of them. And I think in that, like, I know, because there's times that we've laughed about on this show, like things that we've done while we were on these drugs. And
absolutely.
And I think sometimes people may hear that and be like, look, they enjoyed it. They're laughing about it. They miss it. Like, and I know for me, like, I laugh at it and I talk about it because it's more reminder of what I don't want to go back to.
Right.
And I laugh at how stupid it was. Like, how, like, especially now that because I'm about, I think I'm like 168 days right now.
That's right, bro.
And so I look back and I'm like in my right mind, and I've been thinking a lot about clarity and how my mind has really cleared up. And before, when I was in addiction, like before addiction, I'm a huge visionary. And when I look at something, I don't see it for what it is. I see it for what it could be. And like, um, while I was in addiction, I couldn't see that, and
Yeah.
I couldn't think about like the future because all I could see was what was right in front of me, and that was the drug. And so now that I'm on the other side and I see this thing with clarity, I look and I'm like, what the hell was I doing? And it's
Yeah.
almost funny looking at it, like why would I sit there and look on the ground when I see a bunch of little white specks?
Yeah.
Like, and it's because
Bird's
my
eye view,
mind
bro.
was focused on one thing and one thing only.
Bird's eye view. You gotta be able to see
Absolutely.
the whole layout. There's so much going
Absolutely.
on. But if you can focus on one goal at a time, it's achievable. Get you a whiteboard, put that goal up there, look at it every day until you go up there and just knock that off. And when you do that, that's our drugs now.
Absolutely.
That's the same release.
And I have started using lists. And
Smart.
it's like, ooh, I get to mark off another one.
Manifestation, bro. It's a real thing.
Yeah. One thing I say, and I think I got this from you. I mean, it might not be, but I've been saying it was from you. So if you if you did say this, thank you. If you didn't, I've been giving you credit ever since. So
Scorpio, he's talking to you.
But
you should have just stole it outright.
Should have just stole that moment.
I think I heard Jeremy say one time. Again, he may not have.
Oh, me.
Yeah, you.
Me.
I thought I heard you say this, and
Yeah,
I've been crediting it to every 11 minutes, and it may not even be, but you've been getting the credit. So if you did, awesome. If you didn't, awesome. But something I think I heard you say was that for so many years you were part of the problem, but now you want to be part of the solution. And
absolutely.
And like everything I do now, and Scorpio and I have talked about this, like one reason why I can't go back and why I can't relapse is because now I have been tying everything that I'm doing into my recovery and into sobriety, like this podcast. And today I just filled out paperwork to be a peer advocate.
That's what's up.
And like everything that I'm doing is tied into my recovery. And so if I go back, I'm wiping everything off the slate again. And so like I look at that and I'm like, I don't want to go back because of that, and I want to be part of the solution.
That's
For
right.
so many years I was wanting to be like help people, and I had a purpose, but I didn't have a purpose. And now I look and I'm like, I know what my purpose is. For once, like I can see a clear path of where I'm going.
Yeah, if you're ever at a low vibration, go out and help somebody immediately. You're in a better zone. You know what I mean? I remember a guy told me at the beginning of all this, when I was really early in recovery, said, go out there and help someone that's more fucked up than you, and one day you'll be on top of a mountain.
They told you, Scorpio. Told you. I just said that the other day. I was like, yeah, so this guy we're having on in a couple of days, he said, and it was one of the videos you sent me. You said somebody told me once, like, go help someone who was more messed up than you were. And I ever since I heard you say that, I'm like, that's all I have to do. Like,
and this is why I say that in every podcast, news broadcast. And this is all new to me, by the way. I just started doing this in 2024. You know why? Because I put it on my whiteboard. And so I'm taking everything across the board. Anybody that's why I hit you back so damn fast. I think I called you even. I'm like, hey, what's up? You want to do this? You want my attention? You got my attention.
Whoa, never mind.
Are you sure you don't want my attention?
Actually, on second thought, we just stopped doing it.
Stage 5 clinger. Let's be best friends. Let's be best friends.
Let's be best friends.
Antoine. Scorpio, come hang out. Come hang out with me. I'm a good friend.
Bro, we live in New York. That's okay. That's okay. I'll get you guys plane
Be there
tickets.
in 20 minutes.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
I'll be there in 20 minutes. Manifestation. My location. I'm in 2 locations at once. Let's go.
We got this.
So dude told me that, and it's exactly what I did. I went out and helped people. It's kind of fucked up to say help someone that's more fucked up than you, but that's the way the dude worded it. The dude's really abrasive, and I know he was coming from a good place, you know what I mean? Because the dude that told me he's in recovery too, with way more time than me. That's the whole thing, is go out there and find someone that has more time than you and ask him how the fuck did you do this?
Yeah.
How
See,
did
but
you
it
do
makes
20, 30
it
years?
makes sense though. Like when you truly think about it, it makes sense. Like if you truly want to help, like if you were able to get out, then someone who's less fucked up than you theoretically can get out. Like so now what you can do if you truly want to help is go help someone who's more fucked up who may have trouble getting out. Like
Absolutely,
like logically it makes sense. And so ever since you said that, I'm like, all I have to do is find people that are more fucked up than I am.
Straight up.
I'll just help them.
Like, and you found one.
I didn't say all that.
It sounds like it. Sounds like it.
But
we can only keep what we have by giving it away.
Yeah.
I did that at a meeting a while back, and that's so true, because we stay up by lifting others up and getting outside of ourselves, because we spent so long running on self-will, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's basically what AA runs on. I mean, that's basically what AA and NA runs on. You give back what you learn. I mean, that's how, Bill, when Bill and Bob started AA, it wasn't because of one man. It took 2 men to start it, and then it took them spreading their message to other men that it started to spread onward and farther. So it's not what you took from it, it's what you gave back out there. And that's what you got to kind of always remember. It's not about, you don't, like, when you go tell your story to people, when we have people on the show, it's not really, it's kind of like a selfish thing. You're doing it not just to give, back out there. You do it for yourself too. You do it because it keeps you sober. It keeps your sobriety continuing. But then it's also you're giving back to somebody. Somebody that, that's sitting there in Jeremy's position that don't really know what they want to do with their life. And they're like, shit, damn, he did this, he did that. And look, he became, a drug counselor and shit. Oh, shit. Or somebody that was sitting there, not knowing what to do. And they were sitting there in a church one day, becoming a fucking preacher and didn't know what direction they wanted to do in their life and started doing drugs and was like, shit, man, I'm not too sure about my faith anymore. But oh shit, wait a minute, this motherfucker really changed his life. Or, a motherfucker that just kept fucking up in his fucking life. It was like, damn, this motherfucker changed his life. Those are things that you realize, you're like, damn, these dudes changed their life and they're telling other people this shit. Like, I can do it too. Yeah. And that's the whole point of why we keep doing this. And that's the whole point of why AA and NA specifically make sure you say, need to tell your story. That's why they push you to tell your story. Yep. Because the more you tell your story and the more you tell other people, it means more to other people, and that's the whole point of that. That's the whole point of it.
You're empowering the collective. What you're doing with this show, y'all, you're empowering the collective straight up. And it's true on the opposite side of the scale too. When I'm telling these stories of these tragedies, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
That is a voice for the voiceless. That is beyond the grave. That is, look what happened. Beware, stay out. Don't gamble with your life. It's Russian roulette out here. You know what I mean? My boy said, this will always stay with me. He said, these people that die in their addiction are some of our biggest teachers, but we're too fucking stupid to pay attention.
Wow. That's the fucking truth.
Wow. And I think what every time I see one of your videos, like I just think like, so one thing that I really have a problem with is people rejecting addicts.
Yep.
Like, and I know for me, and I say it all the time, like one of my, because I'm a people person, and so the one thing that I always have hated my entire life is rejection.
Yeah.
And when I stepped down from being a student pastor, um, I felt like I was rejected by the people that I had once been a pastor over, and that pushed me deeper into addiction. And so I'm real, I think I'm real sensitive towards people being rejected and people looking down on addicts and people in recovery. And because of that, and when I see the videos that you do, all I can think of is how many of these people were rejected by people that they loved and looked down upon because they were addicts, because something, like, I mean, look, you were 15, you said, right? And you were
Yeah.
in the hospital and they gave you morphine and you were like, whoa, I need to find this again. And like, it's, you think how many more stories are like that. And then when you
Yep.
see these young people that become addicted and they passed away and not even being able to experience life, like,
Yeah.
and then even these old people where more than likely someone saw them and was like, oh, there's another crack addict, or there's another heroin user, like, and rejected them. And then they felt like, I have no hope. And that's another reason why I'm doing this, is to show people like, yo, there's hope, there's a way out. You're not stuck. You don't have to stay where you are, because how many lives could have been saved if someone would have been like,
A lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
A lot.
a lot. You know?
if someone would have looked at them as a human
Yeah.
and not some addict.
I'm taking this. We got to take all these courses to become an addiction counselor, and the one I'm taking right now is cultural competence, and it's a hell of a class. It's blowing my mind. To recognize your own biases and your own agreements and stuff like that. And drug addicts, that's a big stigmatized group of people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's only adding to the problem when people don't understand the science of addiction. And I was running around saying shit like tweaker, up in my recovery, tweaker, junkie, all this shit. It's substance use disorder. It's methamphetamine use disorder. There's so many things that I've unlearned since I went to this class. I did a pharmacology class. I did introduction to addiction sciences, and now the cultural competency class. And to be able to learn this education and then I get to put it into use the day after, like apply it directly, and it becomes muscle memory to me.
That's amazing.
Bro, I'm having a spiritual experience because I'm a drug counselor with this page, and everything coincides and ties together. You know what I mean? And on top of that, the highlight of my day is when someone calls me at the end of their rope and they're just like, I don't know what to do, bro. I can't get a day clean. Well, this is what I did, bro. And I'm just going to sit here and talk to you. I'll make them laugh and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not getting off the phone with you. Like, I'll be late to work if I have to, because someone's calling me all the way from New Jersey. My phone, my little hotline that's on my page. Let's have a human connection, because addiction is the opposite of connection.
Absolutely.
And that's what you say. Rejection was your biggest trigger, right? Well, what's the opposite of rejection? That would be connection, acceptance, adoption. And it's just like y'all seen The Dog Whisperer, right?
You said The Dog Whisperer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he comes up in the family and she's like, I don't know what's wrong with with little Rosie, and little Rosie's like, ah! Ah! And he's like, shh, shh. And the dog's like, ah, I'll fucking kill you. And he's just like, shh.
Oh man,
Right?
that's gonna be the promo clip.
Mom takes the dog, takes the fucking dog's trying to bite his fucking face. And what does he do? He puts it in a pack of dogs that are already healed.
Yeah.
And that little dog
good.
at first, he's like, ah!
That's good.
And the other dogs are like, "I'll fuck your ass up, bro." And the little dog's like, "All right." And then all of a sudden, it's healed. It's walking a
That's
little
good.
straighter.
That's
You know what I
good.
mean? Its tail's not tucked anymore. Its ears are up. Oh, you're healed because you got back to your tribe.
Yeah.
We're all a tribe.
Well, I look too at like just using the dog as an analogy, like dogs that, like stray dogs that people have rescued that are extremely aggressive, or cats, and all it takes is day after day, someone treating them with love and kindness, and like even if they like nip out and attack, like okay, but hey, I'm still gonna love you, and eventually, like I've seen like clips on YouTube where like the dog they get like they're like day one, and it's like
Do it. You can do it better than that, bro. Come on.
You do it better.
People in my house right now are probably like, what the heck is going on in this room?
That's how I was out there, bro.
I
went from robbing stores to robbing people. Lay down. Abscesses and shit.
Being our addiction.
So
like,
day one, that's the dog, and then you have like day 21, and the dog is like running up and wagging its tail and stuff.
Bro, the dog's talking in a British accent. Just
facts.
Went from this to, pardon me, would you like some Grey Poupon?
Straight up.
Who are you?
Who are you?
Civilized.
So I think like how much, like again, just a little like love and treating someone like they're human and being there for somebody, just like you do, just to talk to and make laugh. And like how many people don't have that are in addiction and they need it?
A lot. Isolation is huge, bro. You get to
so I heard someone say, and I forget where I heard it say, it was on like someone was doing like speaking, and it was like one of those clips on Instagram you see.
Keanu
Someone
Reeves.
said definitely Keanu Reeves. They said that isolation is the enemy of recovery,
bro.
And I was like,
that sounds like something Keanu Reeves said.
Straight up, dude.
He does.
You know the dude.
Thank
you know
you,
that
thank
dude.
you.
You know Keanu Reeves is really just throwing hot coffee in people's faces when we're not looking.
Thank you, Keanu. Thank you, Neo.
Check it out. You know when you go in the store and someone left the freezer door open just a little bit? Like that? Guess who that is? Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, he's that guy.
You know it wasn't Chuck Norris.
Oh, did I leave it open? My bad. Or like when you go in the public restroom and someone just left like a square on the toilet roll, and you're like, who the fuck would do this? Somewhere Keanu Reeves.
Reeves. You know where it doesn't happen? The Matrix.
Yep.
Straight up, dude. He gaslighted all of us with that, dude. Red pill, blue pill, both.
We'll take both. That's how we ended up here in the first place.
Where are we, bro?
Transitioning from the Matrix. A lot of times our minds feel like we're in the Matrix.
Right now.
You like that transition?
Are we sure we're not still in there?
See what I did
You
there?
can make some numbers fall. You know,
yes.
Right?
So you said like at 15 and really your whole childhood you were experimenting and using, and so what, like seeing how other kids were acting like normal, quote normal, what society would deem normal, How did that affect you, knowing like, okay, like they're doing this and I'm sitting here doing something completely different than what they're doing? How did that affect just your growing up with other people?
Well, I knew it was a feeling because when everybody would be leaving the party, I would just be getting started. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When people would do a little bump of coke and have a little crazy little talk, I'd be like, "Cool, where's the adult drugs, bro? Like, this is stupid." And I'd be flying through the night to try to score some meth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's crazy.
It was just I just had more of an empty void that I could not fill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that should have been filled when I was, for instance, doing a sold out show in Europe across the country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have went big with my music, but it wasn't giving me the type of validation or love that I was getting isolating with my little process and the feeling of drugs, the feeling of not feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it just spiraled and it progressed into the point where I'll remember the moment, dude, that that I actually snapped into it and I was like, damn, I have a problem. And a lot of shit had happened to where the normal person would be like, yeah, I definitely have a problem. I almost died in a car wreck. I definitely had a problem. I went to jail. I definitely have a problem. I have a couple felonies. But I was just like, I'm living what I'm rapping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guys I looked up to were really active in the streets. So let me try to one up them. Let me live what I'm rapping about. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And at one point, I got a fur coat on and a Corvette on wire wheels with freaking cop glasses and a 50 cal on my hip, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, if I get pulled over by, you know, like an ounce of crystal underneath my battery plate coming from Oakland, like if a cop stops me, I'll blow his fucking head off. Like that's the point I was at. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Just like I'm really gonna live this, because there was just a feeling, that on the edge feeling, that not that I'm condoning killing cops or anything like that, but that's how out of my fucking mind I was, dude. You know what I mean?
Well, it goes back to, like, I think of Dave Chappelle, and you have the Rick James episode, and like, I used to laugh at this, like, growing up, because I never understood. But when he's like, cocaine is one hell of a drug.
It really is.
And having been addicted to crack, like, I'm like, yeah. And the things that drugs make you do, like we said, like just with P. Diddy and the freak offs and things like that, like the things, it makes you abandon everything, because no one is like, wakes up like in their right mind and says, oh yeah, I'll shoot somebody today, in their right mind, unless of course you're in like a war zone.
Absolutely not.
And so like it's just the things it makes us do. And so like to think, because I got into this when I was like 36, and so to think that a kid is having these thoughts, like when you're supposed to be watching Power Rangers and stuff like that, not sitting and like, oh, how am I going to get this drug next?
Look who they're looking up to nowadays, bro, in the music industry. It's all dead rappers. They're idolizing dead rappers.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Tupac, right? Y'all had Biggie, you know what I mean? And those rappers are not the same as Tupac and Biggie, bro.
No.
I mean, big shout out to Juice WRLD, very talented artist, but what happened? His plane pulled over and he took a bunch of I'm gonna get rid of the evidence. What?
Yeah.
Like, that story doesn't even make any sense. They need to like dissect that. But
yeah,
Little Peep, another one that's glorified, right? Everybody on TikTok and IG, all these youngsters look up to these dead rappers, bro. Mac Miller, you know what I mean? All these are all fentanyl overdoses.
Yeah.
And
Which
so
is
these are the
crazy.
people that are these are the influences of our children of this generation. There's another
Yep.
rapper that just died too. Bro, Gangster Boo, fentanyl overdose. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
And these are what we're looking up to. It's wild. Or it's a lost generation. I don't think it's a generation not worth saving, but they're wiping out an entire generation, bro.
Absolutely.
And without our future generations, we ain't shit, dude. We ain't shit.
And I was just saying this the other day to somebody, like the level of fentanyl that is lethal isn't a lot. And these dealers are, in order to maximize profits, are cutting their product with like 50-50 at times. Like and they're not thinking like, oh man, this is gonna kill somebody. All they're thinking is more money in my pocket. And they don't care who they're killing. They don't care who's taking this. All they know is they're getting money in their pocket and people keep coming back. They don't care.
The type of addict I was is, so I was a heroin addict first. I was shooting heroin, and the product out here would disappear and it'd be a drought, right? And so everyone's sick. We're sick 2-3 days. And so being someone that, you know, my girl was the plug. So she's sitting there stacking cash, and as soon as it hits, I'm doing 100 cc shots. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, so, and then she's gonna Narcan me if I die, but I want the most high potent product. And once I found out they started putting fentanyl in it, and that's what had me on that great nod, I was like, where are the dead bodies at? Take me to the bodies. We got to get this shit.
Wow.
Let's get the most powerful, because the way you are when you're in that, most of these, I don't want to say most of them, but a good percentage of people that are strung out on these perk 30s, they know that there's fentanyl in them. You know what I mean? Wow. But they just don't know the power of that.
Yeah.
And those pressed pills are getting more potent. It used to be 6 out of every 10 contained a lethal dose of fentanyl, and now it's, I believe it's like 8 out of 10. And so when I initially started, it was every 11 minutes.
They're literally playing Russian roulette with their lives.
Straight up. Yeah. But the way that hits you, because it's 1,000 more times powerful than heroin, is you don't give a fuck about any other feeling besides catching that feeling, but you don't really even know, but you're spending most of your life like this, just gone. Like, I seen some footage of me like that for the first time. I was like, what? My girl's like, I almost lost you a couple times, because I was in jail for like, I think 14 days. She came and got me. She was all dressed up, looking good, smelling good. I was like, where's the dope? Did that shot, and then woke up like 2 weeks later. She's like, almost lost you hella times. And I'm like, what? And she showed me the footage, and I was literally just I'm like, I'm this vulnerable out here? Like, this is crazy, dude. Like, how am I alive?
I remember, so like I said, I never did it, but one time, it was back in January. Like I said, I just did crack. Scorpio, his girl, and her sister mixed them, and so I never. he always laughs at me. I never would let them turn the lights on in the car, because I'm like, yo, we're a beacon to the cops right now. What are we doing? And so like, I'd be like, they'd turn the light on, I'd be like, I'd look back, I wouldn't even say anything. I would just look back and look at him and be like,
you're really thinking they're working with the cops? Now give me my crack.
I'm like, come on, turn this shit off. What are you doing?
Paranoid.
Like, and they'd be like, click. And so one day, and imagine how hard it is to fill a pipe in the dark. and then not only fill a pipe, but then you have a pile of res from crack. and then you have a pile of res from Crack and Boy together. And so his girl was in the back filling pipes, and she's like, "Preacher, pass your pipe back," passed it back, and she put the pile that had the mix in it.
Damn.
And so I took it, and the level that they would do
We're
was
high.
was
You did high.
crazy.
You did high.
Crazy. And so I go, and I had like felt the feeling once before, because his girl's sister would smoke out of a bong sometimes, and that's how I started smoking. And I remember one time she cleaned it out the best she could, but there was still like a little bit of resin there, and so I felt like a little like ting. And then I had broken my leg back in 2000. It was like 2015, and so they had me on pain pills. And so I remembered the feeling that I used to get when I would drift off to sleep, because I would take them at night. And so I go and I have this pipe, and I lit it up, and I took that hit, and as soon as it hit me, I felt that feeling that I used to feel when I would take the pain meds at night. And I said, as soon as I felt it, I said, "We have a problem." And they were like, "What?" I was like, "I'm definitely smoking your guys' pile." Like, I knew. As soon as I felt it, I was like, this is not the same high that I'm used to feeling. And they knew I never did it, so they knew the dosage that I'm now smoking isn't a good thing.
Yeah.
And so the first thing they said was like, "Preacher, put your head back. If you feel any different, let us know." And that's the last thing I remembered. And next thing I know, I'm leaning out the car, puking my guts out. And the first thing I say is, "How long have we been here?" And then, "Move." But I had pissed myself. They said they had put snow down my pants, taking my shirt off. Like, I guess his wife's sister got on me, was like slapping me in the face.
Hair on.
What was it, Scorpio? 3 or 4 Narcans, you said?
4.
4 Narcans.
Oh, you hit him with 4 Narcans.
4 Narcans.
It was 4
and I remember
Narcans.
coming to, and I
It
felt
was CPR. It was 4 Narcans. It was snow in the face. It was because what happened was he snores. So that was how we knew that he was breathing again. So while she was doing CPR, that's what I kept telling him. I was like, he snores. So you gotta wait until he starts snoring again. So that's what we kept doing. And then my wife ran to the dope house because she remembered.
And let me just say, this is the slowest.
She's the slowest woman in the world. The slowest.
Like
I've never seen somebody slow. She's the slowest person in the world. But for some reason,
would have beat her in a race.
Yeah, but for some reason, she was gone. Like, she said, "I got it," and poof, she was gone. And she ran to the dope house, and like, I don't even remember how she remembered. Like, there was a Narcan in this dope house, but the 3 Narcans we gave him, it was no effect on him. Like, nothing happened. So while she was doing the CPR, she grabbed the last Narcan, she gave it to me, and I was like, she was ready to call 911. And these chicks had felonies, like, but they did not care. They were like, "Yo, if you don't wake up, we about to call the cops. Like, we got no choice." And next thing you know, we gave him the last Narcan, and my sister-in-law, she's giving him CPR, and then next thing you know, he started snoring like, and we're like, "Oh shit, he's up." And then next thing you know, we're like, push him to his side, because I knew, yo, this shit's about to come out. And it's about to be bad. Because I've been, I OD'd before a bunch of times. So I was like, this is about to be nasty. Like, he's not going to like this. He's going to be pissy. It's going to be bad. And that's exactly what happened. It was nasty.
Disgusting.
Yo, it always is.
And then I remember just sitting there, and I had my Steeler blanket over me, and I was.
It's called precipitated withdrawal.
Yep.
I was hating life for a couple hours.
Oh yeah.
That's your
The first thing
withdrawal
I said was
time.
turn the heat up.
Yeah, that's your withdrawal times like 1,000, bro. Because that's what it is. You basically put yourself through forced withdrawal, but you had
And it
to.
was, and I told them that day, I said to him, his wife, and his sister, like, I am getting you guys out of this. I don't know what I have to do. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm getting you guys out of this.
You kept your word.
And to see him out,
Yeah. Beautiful thing, bro.
Now it's just getting them out. Like,
yeah, you kept your word.
That's
she saved your life, bro. She saved your life.
Yeah, and that's like, and I'll say it, like, I've had an argument because I'm separated from my wife, and I've had arguments with my wife, and like, and nothing against her, but like we said, people have these preconceived misconceptions about addicts, and she's like, oh, so like, you look at these addicts as your family, and I'm like, yes, 100%. I said, like, these three are my family, because if it wasn't for these three, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, so I went to the hospital. April 13th is the day I got clean, and I had to go to the hospital on April 18th because I had fluid around my heart and lungs. And so I was in there from April 18th to May 1st, so they could make sure all the fluid was cleared out. And while I was in there, I was trying to check up on the three, because all I could think of was the fact that I just left. Like, the hardest thing, and I've told Scorpio, the hardest thing I ever had to do was look at those three, especially after they had saved my life, and tell them, get out my car. Because I felt like I was leaving them in hell.
Oof.
And that was the hardest thing I had to do. But I talked about clarity. I had this moment of clarity one day, and I said, it's impossible for me to get these people out if I'm in the same position. And I said, it's like right now I'm trying to climb out a hole with one hand, and my other hand I'm trying to hold them. And I said, it's impossible for me to get them out if I don't get out first. And so I was like, and I knew I knew Scorpio was going to understand, and he did. Like, when I told him and I had a moment, just him and I, and he was like, yo, I understand what you're doing. He's like, you've got to do it. I understand. And so I knew he was going to understand. But the girls, they, especially his wife's sister, like they felt betrayed. Like, I just, like, abandoned them. And so, but like, when I got out and I was in there, all I could think in the hospital was, are they okay? That was the one thing on my mind. And then when I finally contacted them, and they told me that this dude since I took my car, he was like, well, let me go get three. And playing Grand Theft Auto in real life. And the last one got him locked up. And so then finally I got to where I am now, and I finally got in touch with him, and he told me that he was in a house and getting clean. And I was like, thank you, God. And so now like, together, him and I, our mission is to get these two out. And like, I've even told him I have a vision of, like, them being a part of Preacher's Corner. And like, that would, I mean, that's what one thing I'm doing this for, is to get more people and then get them. What's that?
What's their names?
Sarah and Julia. Cool. Or Juju. We call her Juju. I call her Juju.
I'm gonna put Juju. Yeah, I'll pray for him later, bro.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Check it out. Like, that's an amazing story, bro. And I see it. So many people that saved my life or was a huge part of me getting clean and sober, they've passed away, you know what I mean? And some of them are still out there blowing in the wind. But if the plane's going down, say, God forbid, you're on a plane with Scorpio, Sarah, Julia, the engine goes out, one of the fucking doors rip off, and the plane's going down.
Oof.
Like, what are you going to do first?
I'm going to try to save them.
You got to put your mask on first, though, bro.
Absolutely. I was thinking that too, but I was like, nah, the plane's going down.
It's
They
real,
say
though. If
that.
you put your mask
Yeah.
on, then
And that's the first thing they tell you when you get on a flight.
you can.
Secure
But what
yours.
I'm trying to say is, if you fill your own cup up, then you can start to fill up other people's cups.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that goes for you too, Scorpio. You know what I mean? Like, just being in recovery and being a counselor, I've learned this the hard way, that boundaries and self-care got to come first.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's on you. You're responsible for you in your own life, and you got to wake up to you, and you got to look you in the eyes, and you will empower those, and you will bring people along with you. Just your recovery shining, just doing this, what you're doing, shining. But you got to fill your own cup up first. You got to put that mask on first, and then you can help other people. And it's in our nature, bro, to sacrifice. But really, going back to the kid that I saved, if I didn't put myself first and wake up in the morning and push myself to do burpees or go for a run around the golf course or eat my keto diet or intermittent fasting, shit I don't want to do, but I know that's good for me, I wouldn't have been able to hold on to that kid. I wouldn't have had my mask on, bro. I wouldn't have been able to hold on to that tree, and I would have lost him.
Absolutely.
So God will show you, man. God will show you.
Scorpio has said that. He's like, he wouldn't have been able to get clean if I never would have made that first step.
Imagine the people he's going to save, though, because of that.
Absolutely.
It's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a ripple effect.
So in closing, and keeping along with this line of topic, so in your recovery, you had this whiteboard, and on it you had what you're doing now. And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, just for those listening, in case they don't know, and really what has, like, you've already touched on it a bit, but what really inspires you and motivates you to keep going and doing what you're doing?
Waking up in the morning alive, bro. I don't want to call it survivor's guilt, but I got another chance.
Absolutely.
And I'll be damned if I fuck that off. What can I do today? How can I end the day and say, damn, I did my best? Because it takes nothing for me to contact a family. And now that I've learned the algorithms and what times to drop on social media, and that can affect so many people, like that ripple effect we're talking about, why wouldn't I just take those first 15, 20 minutes of my day to go over some emails and help someone save theirself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's taken a turn. It's taken another turn. And I do have an end game, but like my professor told me, keep your goals to yourself or share them wisely. So all I know is I want to put God first and recover or die, bro.
That's right.
I like that.
I like that.
So what can you tell those listening just a little bit about your platform, like your Instagram, and what you do, and maybe just one thing that has impacted you about that since you've started it?
Man. At first, the faces they just all blended together. Like, I've lost so many people that I was close to that I mean, true friends that were genuinely happy for my happiness and sad for my sadness. And I almost lost my own life. So when I started working with these families, it would be it's just an untapped like need. You know what I mean? This literally brushed under the carpet, dude. And they're just statistics. It's just numbers. That's all you see in the paper. But for each one of those, what is it? More than 100,000 people died last year of fentanyl, of opioid overdose. We know it's fentanyl. You know what I mean?
Each
None
one
of
of those
these
is a
stories.
human being.
Yeah, it's a human. It's another human being, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? So those relationships are very important to me, and I'm starting to remember those faces, and there's a lot of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what can I take out of this person's life? And it's just it's not even me. Every 11 minutes ain't me. I'm stepping back. I'm just
Yeah.
facilitating it, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just facilitating it. But what it's coming to, and it's coming to fruition, is we were in the darkness, and that's how the page started, and now we're going to the light.
That's awesome.
Like I just said, recover or die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that's really what it is out there.
Definitely.
There is not enough places that treat opiate use disorder like they should.
Yeah.
There's so many different dynamics and aspects, and seeing that we're just putting a fucking band-aid on a bullet wound, it's crazy. So what else is out there besides Narcan? What else is out there besides fentanyl test strips? By the way, why doesn't every American have a Narcan in their glove compartment? What can I do myself? What can I do myself to get fentanyl test strips out there, and now xylazine test strips out there? Well, I could sit here and talk about it, or I can go to the Tenderloin with my stepson, with my sponsor, and hand him out my fucking self. And that's what I do. I throw events, and I'm not looking down on anyone. I just went to a 420 event here on Hippie Hill, and while everybody's smoking hella weed, I'm handing out Narcan. Because now, and we won't even get into this, there's fentanyl-laced marijuana, dude. It's making its way into everything. And just like that story when you're in the back seat and you're like, damn, oh, I feel a certain way. Imagine that's most of these people that you're seeing these numbers. Because when someone makes a comment like, oh, he got his money's worth, he knew what he was doing, she knew what she was doing. No, they didn't, dude. No, these people are being poisoned. It's not overdose, it's fentanyl poisoning. And they want to say you were doing drugs anyways, and just boom. That's like rolling up to the bar, ordering a 7 and 7, you take a drink and you fall out.
Yeah. See, and then that's,
you know what I mean?
Hearing that, it's just, it breaks me, because these people are getting addicted because they're trying to cover over this pain that they're feeling, and already they have people looking down on them, and now they die, and instead of being remembered, and instead of us looking at it and saying, well, what were they going through so we can stop the next person from this happening to, they're like, oh, they deserved it.
Yeah.
Well, that feeling that, bro, like going back to your story, that feeling that you felt where you needed the blanket, you're shivering.
Yeah.
I did that like 150 times before I wanted to get clean, because the science behind it is your perfect day, you win the lottery, that's 75 to 100 nanograms per centiliter of dopamine, which is a lot. We want that perfect day over and over again, right?
Yeah.
When we do that hit of crack, when we do that hit of fentanyl, when we do some crank, when we do anything like that, we get 900 to 1100 nanograms per centiliter of dopamine. Wow. So when you're seeing these people, they're trapped in a fucking dream. And when you take it away, you're sick like that. Like how you felt, that's how sick they are. And they don't have hope. What do I do? All I can do is chase this drug, and I'm finna do anything I can to get it.
And then just knowing from seeing Scorpio and his girl and her sister, and then the other people, because probably 95% of the people that were chilling with us were doing a mix. And so like, yeah. We'd be sitting in my car and I'd be the only one doing just crack. And we joke about it all the time. I used to call myself a social smoker. But how social is it when everybody in the car is nodded out?
It's not social.
And I'm the only one smoking because everybody else is passed out. And so, but seeing them, because I've seen Scorpio many times sick, and but then I've seen the switch. As soon as he got that boy in him,
Yep.
he was back to normal, and he was back to talking, back to laughing, back to joking. But when he was sick, it was like all he wanted was like, bro, I don't care if you have a cheeseburger. I don't want the cheeseburger. I need boy. That's what I need.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like I would rather, because people know this drug is killing them.
Yeah.
People know it. But I would rather take this drug than go through the feeling of being sick.
Absolutely. And it's instant. You feel instantly better.
It's heartbreaking.
So,
because especially when you know this thing that is keeping me from feeling sick is killing me at the same time.
Scientifically, I won't even get into the science, but the dopamine, I just explained that to you. That's called euphoria. When you feel euphoria, when you get rid of it, it's called dysphoria. And that's the vomiting. That's the diarrhea. That's the cold chills. I'm hot 1 second, I'm cold the next. That's shivering. That's you can't eat, you can't sleep. And I'm not saying being on one can't sleep. You're almost hallucinating 6 days up because you're kicking so hard and you know that one little hit. When people are at this point at the end of their rope and they're ready to do anything for that hit and they make their way into my facility and I see them, I say, chill out. I got you. I know exactly what you need. I got you. They're crying. They're inconsolable at the end of their rope. No hope. I got you. Have you ever heard of the bridge device? No, what is it? I'm going to put something on your ear. I'm going to take away your withdrawals right now. Why? Because I'm invested in this shit. I seen this in a newspaper article a while back where you put a device on your ear and it takes away your withdrawals. Why is this not bigger?
Get out of here.
I swear to God. It taps into the amygdala. It's called the Massimo Bridge device. And within 15 minutes, it reduces your withdrawals by 85%.
Get the frick out of here.
What?
And now I have it in our facility.
Get the frick out.
crazy.
We need to get that.
Why is this not known? Because that's how you lose people. They're in that mode. They get a couple days clean. I can't do it. They AMA, leave against medical advice. And that's when you find someone dead, dude, because their threshold is not. Go ahead.
So there's this one girl that we knew. And the same thing happened to her. Like she went to rehab and then left. And it's just, I explain it to people like a diet. Like why diets don't work is because you drop your calorie deficit down. Let's say you're eating at 2,000, now you're eating at 500, and you're like, oh, I'm going to eat at 500. I'm going to be on diet for 2 months. And so for 2 months, you're eating at 500 calories a day. And then 2 months is done. You're like, oh, I'm going to go back up to 2,000.
Yep.
Your body got used to eating at a 500 calorie deficit.
Yep.
So now when you're going to 2,000, you're eating in a surplus of 1,500 calories. And that's why so many people, when they get off a diet, are like, why did I get so fat? Because you're eating the surplus of 1,500 calories every single day. And the same thing is with drugs. Like you go to rehab, your body gets used to not being on drugs anymore. And all of a sudden you go back, and no one goes back and is like, okay, let me ease back into it. They start smoking what they were used to smoking. But now their body's not used to smoking this high amount. And that's why people OD, and it's sad.
That's what happened on my last overdose, bro. I was out for 15 minutes.
Wow.
Coming out of jail for 4 months, and I thought I could go back to just drinking, but I wasn't aware of that cross addiction. I wasn't aware. I was just switching seats on the Titanic, bro.
Wow.
And my judgment was impaired, and homegirl was there. I said, make me a little watered down shot. Boom, there's that magic feeling. They went to the other end of the garage, left my needle there. I grabbed it, filled it all the way up. Bam, killed myself.
Wow.
They said I fell back with a smile on my face blew.
Wow.
When I came to, the girl had 2 Narcans, crying. You died. I was like, shut up. What? You died. She's like, I had to do chest compressions. I'm like, damn. That was close. That was close. And then I had a chance to turn myself in or keep going. And I was like, you know what? That was a little too close for comfort.
Wow.
And I went back to my parents' house, and it's a long story, but I was demonically attacked, and I casted this demon out, and God spoke to me and told me to go in the room. I went in the room. I seen my little babies there, and I was like, what the fuck have I been doing, dude?
Wow.
These little angels. Like, what am I doing? Turned myself in the next day.
Wow.
3.5 years ago. God came in, dude. Demons came in. I was just on a podcast and I was telling this story, and big shout out to the Hopeaholics. Chad told me, he said, God sent those demons because he knew you would cast them out.
That's crazy.
I was like, damn.
You said something that hit me. It was a little too close for comfort. Like, it could be any hit. Like, it could be any one time someone uses, like,
yep.
Like we said, people are playing Russian roulette. So you nod off and you die, someone brings you back. Like, there's only so many times you can cheat death before death's like, yo, okay, we're done with this game. Like, I'm taking you now. Like, and it just brings my mind back to, like, all these people that have lost that battle. Like, and that's why we do what we do.
That was my feeling, bro, on that. I was conscious. I said, I did it. I finally did it. Fuck. I was right in that corridor. I fucking did it. I killed myself.
Like, and that's like, I told my boss, my new boss, I was at where I'm going to be working yesterday, and I told her, I said, because she said that she had a while ago been at a speaking engagement, and I was like, yo, I want to talk, like, because I was a pastor, so I'm used to being in front of people talking, and I was like, I want to talk, and she was like, oh, you're going to. And, like, because I told her what my story is, and as soon as I told her my story, she was like, we need you. And and like, she's like, every community engagement, you're gonna be there with me. And like, I like I said, everything I'm doing now is tied to not just my recovery, but making sure people know, like, there's a problem, and we can't keep treating addicts the way we've been treating addicts, or people are going to keep dying.
It's true.
Like, people need to, like, yes, it freaking sucks that like, for me, I rejected my family. Yeah. So what does my family do now? Reject me. Because that's sorry, mom and dad, if you hear this, because that's premature. You rejected me, so now I'm going to reject you. After you do the thing we wanted you to do, get clean. Because that's mature. Like I love my parents, but they have made me see, like, how much. Because if I didn't have the support system I have right now, I'd be back on the street using. Yeah. And I think of all the people that don't have the same support system I have, all the people that don't have the same grit I have, all the people that don't have the same determination I have, that come out and they're rejected by the people that they thought would be there for them when they got out. And then they go right back in, and then they die because they end up using the same amount they used to use. And it just, it makes me want to tell people, like, yes, it sucks that your family member is addicted. It sucks that they're pushing you away. But don't put them in a box. Don't push them away. Like, they need you. They need you more than they've ever needed you. Like,
Mhm.
And that's the one thing that pushes addicts deeper into addiction, is because they feel like, I don't have my family. So
Lack of
why,
connection.
what's the point of coming out of this if I don't even have my family anymore?
Yeah.
Like the only option at that point in their mind is death. Like,
People need to
and
know that they're not. People need to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
However you can, you know what I mean, on your side, if your side of the street's clean, how can you create safety for those around you and those recovering addicts? I would take that into account.
yeah,
And
I would too. So,
the healing always starts from within, though. You know,
absolutely.
I deal with a lot of families. They don't know what the fuck to do. They just know that their baby's gonna die, and they know they're gonna get that fucking phone call. And they, help me, please. Well, you're enabling your son. You're doing this all wrong. I hate to tell you that, but
Yeah,
you need to stop taking those phone calls and giving him money
yeah,
and let him hit his rock bottom. Because if
yeah.
he can hit rock bottom without dying, that's what he
Then
needs.
be there.
Be there when he's ready.
Yeah, and that's, I think the key is, because that's what I didn't have when I hit my rock bottom. My parents weren't there,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the people that I needed there the most.
We know you got me in Scorpio, right?
that's right.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm glad I have, like I said, I have the support system that I have, because I'm like, I hit my rock bottom, and the people that I needed the most, or wanted the most, weren't there, and it was
Yeah.
terrible. And I feel that, and I'm like, I don't want anybody else to feel this way.
You know, just with that, you're probably going to make people not feel so alone, because there's definitely somebody going through that same exact thing.
Exactly.
Your testimony will help and heal other people, because no matter what we're going through in life, we're not going through it alone. You know,
Absolutely.
we're all humans on this playing field. We've been blessed, one in a 400 trillion shot. We've won the lottery a million times just being here. So what are we gonna do with it?
Make it worth it.
Absolutely.
Well, you think you can keep, it can't keep it unless you give it away.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So my final question is, because I'm a firm believer of, and I say it all the time, like, what good is experiencing something if you don't walk away without learning something? And so if you walk away and you don't learn anything from what you experienced, like, what good was it? And so, it's almost like a double question. One, what have you learned from, like, just your journey? One thing that you have learned from your journey that you want anybody who listens to know, and that's what's one story that you can tell from the stories that you've had that has, like, impacted you the most, and just like, because in this, doing what we do, and talking with people and hearing these stories, there's going to be that one story, a lot of stories of course that sit on our mind, but there's going to be that one that's like, you're always going to remember it. And so, what's something you learned from your journey, and then what's one of the stories that you've done that, like, sits with you all the time?
Damn. The story that really gets me was sort of a God shot. I was so my brother passed away when I was 19 years old. His son was murdered, and he was at my nephew Vincent's grave, R.I.P. Vincent Kelsey, and he was coming back 4 months later, and he was hit in a head-on collision. The reason he buried his son at Canyon Creek Cemeteries because a friend of our family, Craig Manning, committed suicide a couple months before, and we thought it was so beautiful up there that he buried his son there about 25 yards away.
Oh.
So you got Vincent here, and then you got Craig Manning down there, friend of the family. Really beautiful. My brother was visiting the grave that day, and he was coming back, and Craig Manning's dad, Tom Manning, was coming to the grave and hit him in a head-on collision because he was drunk driving.
Wow.
And so we buried my brother up there next to his son, looking down at that grave like, damn. And then a couple months later, Tom Manning died from complications of the crash. So you got a father and son here, Vincent, my nephew, and my brother John up here. And I'm looking at all this and I'm just like, damn, dude, the universe is a fickle mistress. Like, this is a hard thing to figure out. I don't know where the lesson is.
Yeah.
And it spun me out, dude. You know what I mean? And on top of a million other stories of hardship and craziness, I got spun out and I did a 20-year addiction. Eventually I would get clean. I told you all the rest of that. Someone told me to go help people, so I went and helped people. I wanted to become a drug counselor. And my first day was as a chef counselor. So I wasn't that good on the barbecue, but I got better. You know what I mean? Real quick. I was cooking daily in one kitchen, and I was facilitating groups on the other. And I was in the marina in San Francisco, and it was a mansion. It was a 3-story loft on the ocean. It was like a freaking $10-15 million house. I was living my dream. You know what I mean? And I got 100 stories and golden moments that could heroin couldn't touch that shit with a 10-foot pole. You know what I mean? Like, I loved that job. And I got clean at a place called Centerpoint. And all of a sudden I got an email from them asking if I wanted a job there. It's a county facility. I didn't want it, but my soul wanted it.
Yeah.
I prayed on it, and God said, "You're going." I'm like, let me shoot you another prayer real quick, God, because nah.
I think you misheard me, God.
I think what I'm trying to say is I want to stay here at this plush mansion and drink diamond flavored water and freaking.
Like, this is not what I asked for, but all right.
You said, God, don't you see where I am?
And God's like, you're going, shut up. I'm like, yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I answered the email back and I said, I accept. I went and I shook hands with them, and it was my last day, and it was March 8th. It was the 19th or 20th anniversary of my brother's death, John.
Wow.
So I'm driving back in my daddy's old truck, about 100, 200, 300,000 miles on it. I had a gas can in the back because the gas gauge was broken, but I was getting to my destiny one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I get down the road, and I had an overwhelming urge to drink, and nothing was going to stop me.
Wow.
I was probably about a year or a year and a half in. And I'm going down the road, and I'm like, I'm going to stop by the liquor store. I'm going to get me some Steel Reserve 211s, and that's it. I'm done with this fucking sobriety shit. I miss my brother, John.
Wow.
I was overcame by grief, and I was going to drink, and the truck died on the freeway.
Wow.
And so I get out. This has happened before, and every time it happens, it's always when God wants to talk to me. And so I walk and I listen, and he talks. I get out, God's not talking. I grab my empty gas can, I start making my way to the gas station where I'm going to probably fill up on gas and get me some 211s and kick this thing off right.
Wow.
So I'm walking on Baker Avenue exit. It's hot out. I'm pissed. And out of nowhere, bro, This old beat down utility truck with all these tools is placed in front of me. And there's this old man, I want to say 80 to 85 years old, just kind of standing there, just having the best time of his life on the side of the fucking freeway, dude. And I walk,
as old people should.
Bro, yeah, he's loving it. And I walk by and I feel this like immense, grounded, centered energy. And he looks at me, he looks at the can, and he goes, "That's gas." And he points down to a full tank of gas that just kind of appeared. And I'm like, okay. He's all, "One thing I need though is a funnel. Do you got a funnel?" I'm like, how's this fool know I got a funnel in the back of my truck? You know what I mean? Anyways, we start walking back, and I'm just like, we're not even talking, but best company in the world, this guy. You know what I mean? Probably one of the best energies I've ever felt. He's just tooling along the freeway, just walking along the freeway and stuff like that. I'm kind of smiling at the situation. And I flip the gas lid or latch or whatever and start putting the gas in. He's like, "You got to hit the button thing." I'm like, "I know, hit the button thing. It's going in." And he's just sitting there smiling like he knows something I don't. Right? I'm sitting there, not even thinking about drinking at this point, but I kind of want to, kind of don't. I'm just kind of blown back by this help that I'm getting, you know what I mean? This kindness of this stranger. And I feel it. It fills all the way up, and he's just standing there smiling still. And I hand him the gas can. I'm like, "Man, thank you." You know what I mean? And he's like, "See if it starts." And I'm like, "No, I gotta, this happened before. I gotta prime the pump. It'll take probably about 15 minutes. He's like, "I got all the time in the world." I'm like, "Okay." And I go on the first turn, the engine comes to life.
Wow.
And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right, bro. So if you want, all right, if you want to follow me to the gas station, I'm gonna give you this money." He's like, "Nah, it's all good." And I'm like, "Okay." So I get out and I'm just like, "Hey man, I just want to say thank you for your kindness and your generosity. I'm Jeremy." And I go to shake his hand, and he looks me right in the eyes and he goes, "My name's John." And so, you know, it's March 8th, my brother that died.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I had
Wow.
goosebumps, chills, and I felt seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Out of all the 8 billion people that are on the planet, I felt that I was single-handedly helped and seen by a power greater than myself. And I got off that exit and I didn't go to the liquor store. I didn't even think twice about it. I went and I started my first day at Centerpoint. And that was the springboard I needed at that time in my life to catapult me to where I am now.
That's amazing.
So one lesson that I learned is everybody is valuable. We're so valuable. You know, every soul is so valuable, bro, that God counts every hair on our head and he sees us and he knows our name.
Absolutely.
And angels are real. They're out there. That dude came out of nowhere, bro.
Nowhere.
Crazy.
Freaking crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's good.
Not bad. I like that one.
Gotcha.
I don't know where we can go from here. So
chills on this one. Got chills on this episode, boy.
Yeah, and like I said, I was super honored that you responded back, and like I've been waiting ever since you said yes. I've been waiting for this day. Like
Yeah.
like I said, we had somebody on that we recorded just before you, and she couldn't do it, and then I couldn't do it the day she was ready, and so today's the day we could do it. And I was like, oh, there's two, and I was like, but I need to do this guy still. And I was like, I am not pushing it off. And I was like, Scorpio, we're doing 2 tonight. and that's the thing. Like, I'm the last thing I want to be in bed. I have to be up early, but I don't, with that feeling of I don't want anybody to experience the feeling I felt. I will do whatever I have to, even if it means staying up until 12:23 on the East Coast.
Yeah, I forgot y'all are 3 hours ahead, bro.
Even if it means staying up late, like I'll do what I have to do.
Yep.
I'll put in the work. I'll grind it out because just like you said, everybody's valuable, and which means I'll do whatever I have to for that at least one.
Mm-hmm.
If we reach just one.
Absolutely. Mom was sitting on here with me today.
Yep.
Hi, Scorpio. Wow, that wasn't hard at all.
That's one.
But I am so, again, honored that you made time to be on here. It's awesome. I'm gonna let our people know.
Yeah.
Right in the description below.
He'll be down
I'll put
there somewhere.
Information in here.
Instagram right there so that people can go check you out. What he's doing is amazing stuff, people. It's every time I see the stuff he posts, there's times I just sit and I watch it over and over because it's just that impactful, and it's a good way to remember those people. And so thank you again for coming on. We'll definitely, I can see many collabs in the future. And so I thank you for what you're doing too, like, and just doing, because it can't be easy talking to some of these families. Just the emotion, like, it's people's loved ones, and
that's why I keep my cup so full.
Yeah.
That's why I push so damn hard. That's why, if you know me, if you're in my life, you'd be like, that's one disciplined motherfucker, dude. That's because I'm putting that mask on. I'm filling my cup.
That's good stuff.
I'm putting the 6 pieces on. Got to be ready for this warfare.
Got to. See, I'm gonna usually at the end of the show I say, always remember to love yourselves and love others. And I'm gonna start saying too, always remember to love yourselves, love others, and fill your cup.
Bam! Please start that. I coined that. I need my money for that. That's mine.
I'll send you a dime in the mail.
You're
gonna drop a dime on me now, bro.
Jesus.
Let's be best friends. Let's be best friends.
Let's be those friends.
Stage 5 Klinger. We're in this for life now. We're friends for life, preacher.
I'll call you tomorrow when I wake up.
You too, Scorpio. I see you.
Can't leave.
When you wake up, I'll have a
Don't
message
leave
on
me.
your Instagram. But I'll usually we kick people off for this last part, but we'll let you stay on because you're so cool.
Hell yeah, run it.
And it goes along the lines of what you do. As we see on his Instagram, and as we say all the time, not everybody is as lucky as we were to make it out of this. Unfortunately, there's some people that have not made it out, and so what we like to do is have people's names scroll at the end of each show as our way to remember them. So if you know anybody that has lost their life to addiction, either let us know in the email in the description or let us know in the comments below, so that we can put their names up at the end of each show, so that we can properly remember them. And so Next, what do I usually say? Oh, subscribe. Because I know some people watch this thing but don't subscribe.
And we definitely will have our shop swag in the subscription below as well, because we have shirts and we have all types of hoodies because it's starting to get very cold outside, and the swag shop is definitely around now.
Yeah, Jeremy,
So
you got to go get some swag.
gotta get swag, gotta get our swag, definitely.
I'll show you some stuff online. We can collaborate on that. I just got a logo made.
I like it.
I got a
I
Narcan
love
with
that.
angel. I got a Narcan with angel wings.
Ooh.
I like that.
Look, it's like this tattoo right here. See this?
Oh, I like
I
that.
like that.
That's what
I
the
like
swag's gonna
that.
look like, bro. And then
I
we'll put
like that.
then we'll send some of the proceeds to the family. You feel me?
See, I like that.
like
Yeah.
that.
So you heard that here. You heard that here.
It's the first time you're hearing it.
One thing Scorpio forgot to mention is 100 subscribers. We're gonna start doing live shows, Jeremy.
Hell
100 subscribers, and then at 1,000. Go
Say
ahead,
it.
Scorpio. Tell people what will happen at 1,000
At
subscribers.
1,000, he'll be shaving his whole beard on live streaming networks across the board. So we'll be doing it live once we get to 1,000. So please, let's like, let's subscribe, and let's get to it. Big. It's gonna be big.
And that,
Watch it
Jeremy,
happen tomorrow, bro. You're done.
Jeremy, that came out of nowhere. Like, we're just sitting here at the end of one of the shows, and I'm like, you know what? At 1,000, I'll shave my beard. And I was like, why did I say that?
So excited. So
and I've
That's
already
the
told
only
myself,
clip, bro. That's the only clip I'm putting on IG.
I've
Expedite
already
this
told
process,
myself-
bro.
And I've already told myself I am not editing. Like, the only edits I do to any video is I put music under it.
I wasn't gonna let you edit
I'll
it.
add the intro and then I add the end. And so when I said it, I'm like, man, I said no edits. And so I was like, I have to leave that in there.
I would have kept bringing it up in every episode.
I know, because since the first time I said it, it's kind of written in stone now. So
Pretty much.
but and for anybody that because I'm sure Jeremy's gonna share this with his people. So anybody who's watching from Jeremy's people, we welcome you. We're all doing the same thing. We're one big family.
That's right.
I love hearing "We Do Recover," and usually when I see "We Do Recover," I put "We Do Recover," and we do it together.
100%.
At my job, all of us are in recovery where I work, and we have one term, and it's "We Rally." And so we do recover, we do rally, and we do it together. So,
and just like our new homegirl Misfit said, this is all our home, and
Absolutely.
we're trying to make this our home for everybody that's in recovery. So welcome to our new friend Jeremy, and welcome home, and
I'm
welcome
here all day.
welcome to everybody else that'll be here, and welcome to anybody else that's watching, that's watching tonight. Welcome home, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks. But that is all we have for today. We can't wait to see you next week. Until then, always remember to take care of yourselves. Take care of Take care of yourselves.
Wow.
Take care of others.
Go to sleep.
Fill your cup and go to sleep. Go to sleep. All right. Peace.
All right, bro.